Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us for another one of our tutorials. Well, we're still enjoying the month of February and still celebrating our flower of the month, which is the rose. I'm going to concentrate today on the slightly more blue tones of pink, if that makes sense. So bringing in the sort of, if you think of the colour spectrum, bringing in the lilac-y blues as opposed to going more towards the orangey reds. So we're going that side of the colour wheel, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've got here, I would describe these as all sort of blue mauvey tones of pink, as opposed to this, which I would describe as a corally orange tone of pink. Quite vibrant, that one. We're going to start with the bluey ones first. So we've got this, which is every florist's favourite, Aqua. It's one of the most traditional roses that florists usually use. Well known and been in very high production for several years. Possibly not quite so prevalent now as it was a few years ago, but everybody knows Aqua. This one, a really good reliable rose, not particularly large. I would describe it more as a medium headed rose. It's always a good developer. It's quite a nice strong rose, has a reasonably good shelf life, and as everybody always loves to know, no thorns, or very little thorns. Now this one that we've got here is actually a BA grade as opposed to an A1 grade. Excuse me. So just to give you a little bit of an indication as to what that means, when you purchase from our website, you'll know that every item has a grading. It either has an A1 grade or a BA grade. Now, when you buy a BA grade, it is a lesser grade, but it doesn't mean you're going to get a poor quality. It just means that within the wrap, the flowers haven't been graded so perfectly and so identical as the other roses. So, for example, you'll end up with possibly kinked stems that aren't quite so straight, and you'll also end up possibly with slightly differing head sizes. So again, it's not poor quality, it's not going to affect the longevity, it's just they're not graded so perfectly. It's a similar situation to if you bought your absolute best possible apples from a high-end supermarket, as opposed to buying your windfall apples possibly from your farm shop. So that's kind of the difference. You still get the same product, it's just not graded quite so perfectly. So don't be alarmed if you see a BA. As I said, it's not that you're going to get a poor quality, it's just going to be that possibly not so pristine maybe as the A1. They have their uses. I mean, if you're doing sort of jam jar work for a wedding or something like that, you don't actually need that pristine bloom, or you don't need the long stem, then they're absolutely perfectly adequate. And the price is usually reflected in what you buy. So that's Aqua, really well loved and well known. Now this one, which is really funky, we're really rather in love with this one. This is Crazy Eye. So it's a two-toned rose. I don't know if you can actually see close up there that you've got, if I pull one of the petals off, cruel us florists, we really are, poor rose. If I pull one of the petals off, you can literally see how different the petal is. So you've got a multiple collection of colours there. You've got very pale pink into a mid pink, then almost into a burgundy colour tone. And it almost looks like somebody's come along with a paint brush and just splashed paint over it. That's how funky it is. The name kind of reflects how it is as well. It's called Crazy Eye. I wonder where they got that from. So it's a lovely rose. It's a really meaty, chunky rose, a really big head, or a really full head, I should say, very multi-petaled. So again, when that opens, you're going to get a really good head size. It's also available in other colours as well. There's a burgundy tone and there's a red tone as well. So watch out for those on our website. They're quite an interesting one, those. Would work very well bringing in, if you're doing a wedding, it would work to act as an intermediate flower for burgundies and pale pinks. Bring the whole colour scheme together. And also if you brought some really dark black calla lilies into that, that would highlight the deeper tones as well. So yeah, that's Crazy Eye. Lovely rose, that one. Then then we have pink Rodos, which I guess you would call a Cerise. Now, this is more of a bluey tone cerise as opposed to a red tone cerise. Pink Rodos, you might have watched one of our previous videos on red roses where we had the red Rodos. So it's the same stable or same family if you like. So again, a good shelf life, no thorns or very little thorns, and a nice strong stem. If I show you, a nice thick solid stem. So that's pink Rodos, and again a really popular rose. So heading back down the colour spectrum towards those coral tones, we have a rose here called Ace Pink. Now, coral is a really popular wedding colour this year. I have been told also watermelon and coral, very similar colour tones, so that would work quite well for that vibrant coral coloured wedding. It works as well in with Barbados Spray Rose, which helps to complement the colour too, and also Miss Piggy, which is another coral rose. So that's Ace Pink. A small headed rose though, I have to say. It's never, even if you buy a long stem of Ace Pink, you're never going to get a massive head size. But yeah, that's Ace Pink. So hopefully that's helped you perhaps identify some of the varieties, perhaps giving you some food for thought on different varieties that you might like to try. Always do call us if you want any advice on colour matching. We're more than willing to help you with that. Of course, you can also use our chat facility on our website as well. And yeah, enjoy your roses. Thank you for joining us. Look out for some more of our educational tips and hints, and I look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Thank you.